Hello, everyone, and welcome to the stream. We'll be continuing our live coverage of Fate Stay Night Remastered. Hope y'all are having a great day. If you happen to hear some yelling and screaming in the background, that isn't Shiro getting himself killed. That's probably just the hockey game going on in the background. All right, well, let's get right into it today. Oh. The sky was still pale gray. Was it dawn or dusk? It's hard to tell. The vast sky overhead and a wide field stretching out on all sides. The sky seemed close enough to touch, clouds low enough to grab hold of. This was one of the battlefields she fought on. But there was no longer any cavalry in her service. The sprawling golden meadow was gone. Instead, unfolding under the dull sky, was the remnant of a battlefield. No emotion. She must have seen this kind of thing almost daily. Her desolate heart was empty. As she leaned against the golden sword, she exhaled deeply and let her shoulders relax. The battle must have ended. After glancing over the bodies of the defeated soldiers, she returned to her camp. Those were the battles she experienced. Her cold charm, her cold, calm demeanor remained unchanged. No matter the predicament she'd been in, she remained just like the woman I've always known. And then I see the dream of a king. The moment she drew the sword, she stopped being human. She took over for her father as a feudal lord and became king with many knights. She was known as King Arthur, Artoria, the life of the girl who once aspired to be a knight changed so radically.
I did.
She acted like she was the king's son. The ruler of territories and knights had to be male. Only her father and the mage knew the king was female. She covered herself with iron and hid the truth for the rest of her life. There were those who had their suspicions, but the king of knights who wielded the sacred sword knew neither injury nor age. Excalibur was blessed with the protection of the fairies, making its possessor immortal. As such, nobody questioned her tiny frame, which was much too small for a knight, or her face, which may have appeared girlish. Instead, she was hailed as a truly beautiful king.
Aw, so precious.
And in fact, the king was invincible. Neither size nor appearance mattered. Those who lived in fear of the savage invaders desired a strong king, and the valiant knights would follow only a truly superior leader. The king satisfied each of these conditions, and so nobody questioned the king's identity. It did not matter if the king was a child or a woman. All that mattered was that the king protected the nation. The new king was fair and selfless and always stood on the front line, fighting and defending the nation's enemies. Defeating, my bad, the nation's enemies on the battlefield. Many enemies and citizens died, but the king was always just. And she played her role as the king better than anyone else. There was no room to suspect otherwise, and as such suspicion would be pointless while the king was right in any case. She knew no defeat on the battlefield. Her army reformed the lost cavalry, then charged across the battlefield, defeating foreign infantry and smashing through their defenses. Did she always stand on the front line because her nation was behind her? Before she headed out to battle, she had to cast aside so many citizens. Once she was on the battlefield, she had to cut down all her enemies. As her battles were fought in defense of her nation, it was common to wring villagers dry to support the army. In that sense, no knight killed as many as she did. I can't tell if she ever really felt that burden. It's not something I can really know from a dream. But I know she didn't have a moment's doubt or hesitation on the battlefield. Grief never touched her thoughts when she sat on the throne. A king is not human. Human emotions would make it impossible to protect the people. She kept her oath, never wavering. She addressed the issues facing her nation, and she kept up working on matters of protocol, of political concern. She ruled without wavering, and she punished the deserving without error. And after winning so many battles, unifying so many clans, and punishing hundreds of criminals, King Arthur doesn't have a human heart. One of the knights of her entourage murmured this.
Yes, she does.
Everyone must have felt the same way. The more perfectly she carried herself as king, the more everyone questioned their monarch. There is no way someone devoid of human emotion can rule humans. Several reputable knights left the White Castle of Camelot, but the king accepted this as inevitable and incorporated it into her rule. And so far the king, the fair king, once so admired by her knights, began to isolate herself. Such trivialities were of no concern to the king. Even if she was deserted, feared, or betrayed, her heart would remain unchanged. It couldn't be helped. The moment she took that sword, she abandoned her emotions. And then her final battle began. The battle at Badon Hill ended in complete victory, and that inescapable conclusion led to the savage clans finally offering peace. Draconian's Primal, yes, that voice was Dev, our disembodied voice. He's kicking around. He may or may not throw his 2 cents in. He's kind of engrossed in his hockey game.
But I am here, King Ultima.
And so the nation had been holding its breath, waiting to be destroyed, knew a moment of peace. The age of warfare where a nation leaned on a singular hero came to an end. Britain was finally going to become the nation she'd always dreamed of. The scene starts to fade away. I realize the dream is ending and I'm about to wake up. I can feel myself drifting closer to wakefulness. But before that happens, something really pissed me off. She's stupid. Oh, she's strong and a gifted fighter. But there's a difference between being good at fighting and being cut out for it. The people around her pissed me off too. If she didn't notice it, someone else around her would have told her, or she would go on making the same mistake forever. Seriously, how the hell did she have so many people around her and not one of them told her the truth?
We're scared ahoy.
I wake up. We escaped Ilia's fortress and returned home yesterday afternoon. Tosaka went back to her room, complaining her stomach hurts, and my headache wasn't getting any better, so we all decided to just go to sleep. It must have been the extra weight I was lugging around. As soon as I got into bed, I couldn't get back up. Saber was the only one who seemed fine, and Tosaka left her to guard the house while we slept. And then so I slept for half a day. At least my headache's gone. I'm relieved. The whole thing with Berserker. The headache I got after copying Saber's sword was unreal. If I had to keep it up, my head might well just split down the middle. Then I notice. Huh? Saber is sitting on the floor right next to my head. Saber. You're glaring at me like that first thing in the morning. Did something happen when I was asleep?
いいえ、ただ夢を見てしまったもので。いえ、何でもありません。それより朝食にしましょう、シロ。もう起きる時間です。
Saber gets up and heads silently out of my room. What was that about? I don't know why Saber's acting strange. I'm really not sure, but if she was sitting by my bedside the whole time, was she nursing me back to health?
She's jealous because you got her sword.
Well, I don't have it no more. It disappeared like about a half a second before Berserker started fading away. The moment I have that thought, the scene from last night comes back to me. What the hell am I thinking? I shake my head to rid myself of those impure thoughts. That night, my contact with Saber was entirely about my duty as a master. If I don't rationalize it like that, I'll never be able to look at Saber again. Calm thoughts. Calm thoughts. We acted normal when we were coming home yesterday. That's all I need to do. No, I was actually just tired yesterday, but I still need to act normal. Besides, Saber wouldn't like me acting like this. Okay, I just need to calm down and make breakfast. I take a deep breath and get changed. It's 9 in the morning. Saber hasn't eaten since lunch yesterday, so she must be hungry. Nine is so late, it's practically not even morning anymore. As hungry as Saber must be, I should probably make a hearty breakfast.
シロ、今朝は私とあなただけですが、リンを起こさなくていいのですか?
No, everyone's still asleep considering what happened yesterday. It's probably best to let them sleep. I'll leave their food out and they can eat whenever they like.
そうですか。それでは早めに支度をしてもらえると助かります。もうこんな時間になってしまいましたから。
And for its reference, it was established in, I believe, part 1 of our playthrough, maybe at the beginning of part 2. Servants do not need to eat. I know, I feel better now, so let's head to the dojo once we're finished eating.
道場に行くとは、まだ私と剣の鍛錬を続けるのですか?
Saber always has hangry energy. Why not? It's our daily routine. What's wrong, Saber? Did I say something weird?
あ、いえ。その、もう鍛錬はしないのだろうと勝手に思い込んでいました。
As I recall, we haven't won his grail war yet. We still have, what, 4 servants left to take out?
That would be correct.
バーサーカーが倒れた今、シローがそこまで必死になる理由はなくなったのではないかと。
I see. You know, you may be right. The common enemy we all share in Berserker is gone now. We teamed up to take on an enemy far stronger than us, and that's also why I trained so furiously in such a short period of time. But I'd like to keep training. I'm still an untrained mage, and I get to see the real you when you wield a sword, so that makes it easier for me to talk to you. Well, I say easy, but what I mean is, I kind of enjoy it.
はあ、道場での私は本音を出しているのでしょうか?
Sure do. At least you don't hold back. I prefer it that way. Besides, I think you get to loosen up as well. Anyway, our routine has been us sparring in the morning. Don't take the few pleasures I have. I take the ground beef and pork, green onions, mushrooms, onions, and eggs out of the refrigerator and head to the kitchen.
That sounds
Wait.
like a yummy meal.
Isn't the refrigerator in your kitchen, Shiro?
Maybe not in Japan.
I suppose he does have a Japanese-style house, so... Well, I guess mansion.
Oriental style house.
No, it is specifically mentioned as a Japanese-style mansion. So...
Yeah,
Sliding paper doors and everything.
obviously sucks.
All I need is panko, sake, and cooking oil. Fair.
はあ、そういうことでしたら、私も反論はありません
Is
が。
the sake for cooking or just plain drinking? Or both?
I think it's to drink while cooking with. You know, you pour some on this. You know, one for your pal, one for me.
A shot for the dish, a shot for me. Yeah, sounds about right.
Yep.
Saber mumbles quietly to herself in the living room while I work.
Go, 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 go.
I can't quite hear what she's saying from the kitchen. Smack, smack. I mix onions, panko, sake, eggs, salt with flat 400 grams of ground beef and pork and knead it all to...
He's making a yummy dumpling, isn't he?
Sounds fucking good.
He's making a yummy dumpling, isn't he?
I'm not sure if it's a dumpling, but either way, it sounds fucking delicious. I've decided to be bold today, so I'm making stewed Japanese-style hamburger steak for breakfast. And there you have it, that's what he's making. Japanese-style hamburger steak.
Hey, Ultima. Remember this.
リン、目が覚めたのですか?
Oh, I could probably find it within her computer's database.
Saber's voice drifts out from the living room. Osaka? I glance back over my shoulder as I cook.
おはよう。ごめん、牛乳飲ませて、シロ。
Tosaki comes in looking grumpy and grabs a carton of milk from the fridge.
寝すぎて頭痛い。あれ？何？朝から凝ってるじゃない。
Because it's after 9 and Saber hasn't, and our poor Borger Seba hasn't had any food since yesterday. Where'd that grumpy face she'd been making a second ago go? Her eyes are practically sparkling now.
美味しそう。ちょうどお腹も減ってたし、助かった？
What happened to you not doing breakfast, Rick? Is that so?
Somebody else cooking it, she's gonna eat it.
Well, she's the one who gets to enjoy herself here, not me. Reminds me of what my old man used to say. Someone grins, someone else loses. Oh, that's terrible.
And someone loses.
Got this before, but you've got a keen eye.
あら、人並みに目星が利くだけよ。それじゃあ、私の分もよろしくね。
He waves as she heads back to the living room. With a glass of milk in one hand, Tosaka plops down at the table. Seriously? I don't know where she gets off acting like the king of the castle here in my house.
だらけていますね。
To be fair, she comes from a very rich family.
Still, it's not her house!
You're letting her get away with it.
I'll have no argument in defense of that. Because Shiro really does let her get away with it. Yeah, way to go, Seba. She's saying everything I wish I could. However, Tosaka dismisses Saber's criticism nonchalantly by just agreeing with her? You're not supposed
そり
to
ゃだら
agree
けも
with
する
her.
わよ。
Of course you're lazy now. You think you deserve it. You haven't done much of anything.
Well, I think it's more she feels she gets to be lazy now on account of,
She rescued Shiro.
she rescued Shiro. Archer died so that we could all escape and whatnot.
バーサーカーがいなくなった今、あとはキャスターとランサーとアサシンでしょ。
Lancer,
バーサーカー
Assassin.
に比べたら大した敵じゃないし、今のセーバーなら余裕で撃退できるじゃない。
Don't sound so cocky now, Ren.
それはわかりません。ランサーもアサシンも一筋縄で行く相手ではない。キャスターに至ってはまだ出会ってもいないではないですか。謙遜謙遜。アーサー王の手にかかっちゃそんじょそこらの英霊なんて10羽一絡みでしょ。
Rin's not wrong in that statement. An ordinary heroic spirit really is no match for King Arthur.
今までは魔力不足で嘆いてたけど、それも解決したし。
And now that we've solved her magical energy, her mana problem,
Yeah,
Pastor and Assassin really
今
don't
の
have
セイバ
much
ー
of
に
a
対抗できる
chance.
サーバントなんて一人もいないわ。
But let's be fair, Lancer and Saber have a history.
Who do you think Lancer is?
you are a schmuck, Junior.
Well, I'm also a spirit inside the computer.
Yeah, but just who do you think Lancer is? 'Cause actually, we haven't been given his true name. We've only been given hints at who he is.
That's bullshit.
I cannot indulge in that information just yet.
Saber narrows her eyes at Tosaka. I have the same reaction. We shouldn't let what Tosaka said there just go by.
No, there's no fucking goal there. Fuck did not go over the line.
Tosaka,
Not even make each other.
do you know who Saber is?
うすうすね。確信が持てたのは昨日よ。あれだけの聖剣を扱える英雄なんて
I mean,
一
it's
人しか
true.
いないもの。
There's only one hero that can wield that sword.
まあ、伝説のアーサー王が女の子っていうのには驚いたけど、目の前にいるんじゃ信じるしかないじゃない。それに、伝説なんて都合よく改ざんされたものでしょ。セイバーが隠したのか、周囲が隠したのか知らないけど、確かに中世の王様が女の子ってのは都合が悪いものね。そりゃ誰が何と言おうと男として扱うわよ。
Tosaka's tone remains the same. Saber at least doesn't seem to mind. If anything, she seems to agree with Tosaka. She certainly doesn't seem about to argue. She's basically acknowledged the fact. A hero with a connection to the sword is selected to be a saber servant. Based on that alone, she would absolutely make for the best saber. Heroic symbol of Britain. The wielder of the sacred sword, so famous she's even known in this faraway land. But then what of it? The legend of King Arthur ends with the king's death. Even heroes are still human. Their stories usually end in death, but no hero dies a proper death. King Arthur was no exception. If I remember correctly, King Arthur died in battle. At the Great Battle of Camlan.
Battle of Camlan? I've never heard of that.
Sure you have. It is the battle where Mordred and King Arthur fought and killed each other.
Ah. So it was not really an honorable death, but it was a death. Because I'm fighting his child.
They were both fighting for what they truly believed. So I guess it's an honorable death in that they were both fighting for what they truly believed.
But you're still fighting against your child. It was like a civil war.
Yes, Mordred was King Arthur's child, but up to shortly before that point, King Arthur didn't even know that Mordred was his child.
Yeah.
Because King Arthur wasn't aware of Mordred's conception.
Okay. Disembodied voice concedes.
So, yeah. It was the treachery of her own army, the knight she vowed to protect and fought alongside for so long, that led to King Arthur's death. King Arthur defeated the army's leader, but took a fatal wound in the battle, and so entrusted her only surviving knight, Bedivere, with the task of returning the sacred sword to where it belonged. Traverse across this bloody battlefield and over the hill. You will find a deep lake. Throw this sword into that lake. But Bedivere did not fulfill that final duty. Fearing the implications of losing the sword, Bedivere falsely reported, not once, but twice, that he had thrown it into the lake. Each time, King Arthur once more ordered Bedivere to throw the sword away. Finally, on his third attempt, Bedivere was able to fulfill his king's wishes. It is said that King Arthur died after making certain that the sword had been returned.
それよりシロ、あんたこれからどうする気よ?
Tosaka suddenly turns to glare at me.
Yeah, what do you plan to do? What do you plan to do, huh? What do you plan to do?
Hey, what do you mean plan to do?
だから和室で寝てる物騒な子供のことよ。
Dangerous? She's not dangerous.
放っておけって言ったのに、
She's
ここま
dangerous
で
for
連れて
everybody
きたの
against
はあん
us.
たじゃない。
Are you sure you know who she's talking about? Their disembodied voice?
それについては私も言いたい。バーサーカーを失ったとはいえ、イリアスフィールは危険なマスターだ。
Oh,
それを保護するなど、シロはどうかしています。
okay.
Yeah.
That dangerous girl.
That dangerous girl. You know, the one that can paralyze us just by looking at us?
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, she's got to go before she hurts anyone else.
そうそう。あんなのをきれいに預けちまえばいいのよ。
That is a debatable statement, Rin. That is a truly debatable statement. The two glare at me as one. Oh dear. That's right. The moment Berserker disappeared, Ilia fainted. She showed no sign of waking up, and I couldn't just leave her, so I brought her back home.
Shiro, you...
Of course, Tosaka and Saber objected, so I carried her myself. A master who loses their servant either flees before another master kills them, or is protected by the church. Tosaka, we should let Kotomine take care of her, but I don't think that priest would take very good care of Ilia, so I'm having her stay here in one of our 4 spare rooms.
Or
Yes! He's got 4 spare freaking rooms.
In an apartment?
He's not in an apartment.
He actually has a full-on Japanese mansion.
It's like literally the house of like a freaking samurai. So it's got like a couple outbuilt. It's almost like a villa.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah, this place is fucking huge. Of course, it's rather comical that he's got now Shiro has staying at his house Saber, Rin, and Gilia.
Oh, that.
シロ、
Oh.
あなたの考えは立派ですが、 イリアスフィールに関わるのは危険です。今ならまだ間に合う。早々に教会に預けるか、その令状を剥奪するべきだ。
Saber's serious. Changing her mind won't be easy. Do you have a problem? We couldn't just leave her alone. Ilia's just a kid, and she wasn't herself. I'd feel bad leaving her with Kotomine.
かわいそう。あんたね、あの子にあんな目に遭わされて、まだそんな寝ぼけたこと言うわけ？同感です。シロはイリアスフィールに感情移入しすぎています。彼女は何度もシロを殺そうとしたではないですか。
18.
I know.
Although she doesn't have much experience, with anything outside the world of magecraft, so...
She has no social life. She didn't know how to go about socializing. That was her attempt. Sorry you didn't like it.
The two are more united than ever. Oh crap.
Uh-oh.
But I need to stand my ground. Ilia was our enemy, but she never had any malice for us. No, just a sadistic glee in our death. I mean, come on. As long as she has a good influence, she won't do any more harm. And I said this at the start. I'm not fighting to kill masters. I'm fighting to end the battle.
それは分かってはいますが。
Stand your ground.
Oh, we're trying. We're trying to. Saber's tone softens, though she's clearly not convinced. But...
そう。それじゃあイリアスフィールのしたことを全部許すっていうの？言っとくけど、あの子は私たち以外のマスターも襲っている。もしかしたらもう何人かマスターを殺しているかもしれない。それでもあなたは助けてやるっていうのね。
Well, I
I think you get rid of that damn ticket.
thought you killed the clock.
I'm muffling the clock.
You're doing a terrible job.
Yeah, it slips by every now and then.
Ilia admitted she killed Shinji after I let him go. Shinji used Ryder to kill everyone at school. If that's what he did as a master, I suppose his death was inevitable. But Shinji was a friend of mine for years, and thinking of Sakura, I can't just write it off, write off what Ilia did. But that means there's no chance at closure. Even if Ilia is no longer a master, as long as she can reflect and feel remorse, I think we should save her.
そうね。それは正しい。けどシロ、私はアーチャーのことを帳消しにする気はないの。私のアーチャーはあいつに殺されたんだから。
Well, I mean, technically Archer killed himself because, I mean, we escaped and then he refused to back down from Berserker. So, I mean, really, he killed himself? Maybe just a little bit? We're at an impasse here. We all freeze, staring at each other. But then...
Damn it,
何
damn
よ
it, damn it.
サーバントなんて最後にはみんな消えちゃうじゃない。そんなこと気にしてるなんてマスター失格ね、リン。
The very girl under discussion appears.
イリアスフィール。待ちなさい。あなたたちに用はないわ。戦う気もないからそんなにいきり立たないでくれない？ほんと同じレディーとして恥ずかしいわ。私よりずっと年上なのにたしなみってものがないんだから。
Others. They asked me to come over for a cup of tea instead of kidnap me.
Ilya shrugs, looking disgusted.
なんですって？
I in unison, no less. Saber and Tosaka are once again in sync. A whole new kind of intensity comes over them.
まあそれも怒らないであげる。今はあなたたちに構ってる場合じゃないもの。
Well, isn't she?
Ilya? Oh, hell yeah, she's very smug. Ilya turns from them to face me. Ilya?
礼を言います、セイバーのマスター。敵であった我が身まで気遣うその心遣い、心より感謝いたしますわ。
I mean, that right there is an epic display of manners. You gotta give her that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, it's a 180-degree turn from where she was 2 days ago. Uh-huh. I stare at Ilya in disbelief. So sudden is this that even Saber goes quiet. Tosaka just keeps drinking her milk, giving Ilya the stink eye. Oh, come on, where's my image of that? I have to see an image of that.
Well, it's all in your imagination, apparently.
But somebody has to come up with an image of Saber drinking, or Ren drinking a glass of milk, giving Ilya the stink eye. This is an image that needs to be created.
Good point. And I can't even see it myself in this computer.
Ilya smiles, that familiar smile of hers.
なんてね。やっぱりシロはお兄ちゃんだ。
Why does she think you're her brother?
Okay, so for anyone who's not clear as to why Ilya keeps referring to Shiro as Oni-chan or brother, okay, Shiro's adopted the man that adopted Shiro is Kiritsugu Emiya. This is well established. However, Kiritsugu also happens to be Ilya's biological father.
Yep.
Therefore, they are brother and sister, legally.
Ah. Okay. Does Shiro know this?
She does.
No, of course she doesn't. She has no idea. She's just calling him Oni-chan for, like,
According to him, no reason.
according to him, no reason at all. And yet he doesn't question it, not once.
Does maybe it feels natural?
Tosaka spits out her milk. Okay, now that is an image I need more than her sipping on her milk, giving Ilya the stink eye. Abso-freaking-lutely. What the? I can almost hear the vein popping in Saber's forehead.
離れなさいこの無礼者。
Saber rushes toward me. Ilya twists around, swinging to my back.
無礼者はどっちよ。サーバントのくせに私に意見しようなんて100年早いわ。あなたに従う義務がなければ意思もありません。枝ず口を言う暇があるなら今すぐ城から離れなさい。そんなの聞かないよーだ。ねえシロ、昨日みたいにしよう。あれ本部って言うんだよね。
Oh boy.
Don't ask him. He's gonna give her another feedback, right?
Not if I want to live. Do you see, Saber? Ilya spins around me. Ilya's having way too much fun with this. Saber hurries after her, trying to catch her. This is bad. What specifically is bad? Well, it's just bad. The two can't stop glaring at each other. It must be because Tosaka is just watching from afar, but she just wipes milk off her mouth as if nothing happened and says,
どうでもいいんだけどね、二人とも。そのままだとそいつ死ぬわよ。
Oh great, now they're in perfect sync. The two peer curiously at me. It's pretty clear.
No,
My
he's
next
getting pretty high and wavy. Right.
My neck's getting wrenched around. I know my face
I know face is
is the greatest danger of my life.
two girls choking you to death.
Okay, let's review the current situation. The Hamburg steak I've been working so hard on is packed away in the freezer. First, there's Tosaka. She's being relatively quiet. She seems to be keeping a straight face, and it looks like she's going to watch things play out. But who can say what she might be thinking to herself?
何シロ。
Shush, I'm thinking, little girl.
Ilya is sitting next to me, and for some reason, she looks like she's in a good mood. She's looking curiously around the living room, but it doesn't look like Saber or Tosaka are much concerned to her.
Alright, is Captain Hook nearby or something? Because that crocodile with the freaking clock in it is starting to get annoying.
Whatever either of them might say, it's likely to go in one ear and out the other. Just like that clock? Maybe. And then there's the one I'm most concerned about.
Uh-oh.
Saber. She's glaring anxiously at both me and Ilya. She's not usually so fidgety and restless. It feels like I'm resting on a bed of nails. So I can't leave things like this. I don't know what is going to come of this, but I have to do something about this situation. Let's settle this. If we keep this up, It'll drag out until lunch.
Alright, so
So,
let's
ne.
flip a coin.
結論は決まっているし、
Heads you
問
win,
題
tails
は早めに
you
片付けた方がいいわ。そうでしょ、セイバー。
Well, draw straws.
Well, I think Rin's already come up with a solution. Let's get rid of the problem as soon as possible.
そうですね。私とリンの意見は同じですから。あとはシローに納得してもらうだけですが。
Saber is really digging her heels in here.
ねえシロー、リンとセイバーは何を話したがってるの？
They want to talk about what we should do with you. You lost your servant, so we want to know what you plan to do from now on.
そんなの決まってるでしょ。教会に保護させるか、森の城に追い返すのよ。どちらにしたってここにいさせる選択肢はないからね。
But then after you lost your servant, Rin, shouldn't the same go for you? You should either go back to your mansion or the church.
Yep.
Yet you insist on staying with Shiro. And the harem grows. I mean, I said nothing.
シローもそう思ってるの？
Yulia looks at me, her face emotionless. Alright, folks, chat, what do we do? Do we shelter Ilya or do we take her to the church?
I think we should let her stay.
How's that one song go that everybody's been hearing on the radio? Take me to church.
Take me to church. I worship like a dog in the
There you go.
night.
So that's my vote. Deb says take her to church. Ultima says shelter Ilya.
It's a tie. You get to choose now.
But the whole point was to have chat decide this. We need a tie-breaking vote. Well. Oh, we have a tie-breaking vote in the chat, folks.
Ultima, I don't know how you swayed that other vote, but I don't know.
Kiritsugu always told me to protect girls, and I don't like seeing kids suffer. Well, I think Ilya should stay here. The Grail War isn't over. I want to shelter Ilya until the last of the masters are taken care of.
シローがそう言うんなら、私もここにいてあげるね。
Ilya, you're joking me. I can't breathe. I intend to pry Ilya from me, but before I get a chance, Saber steps over and does it for me.
何よ、さっきから邪魔ばっかりして。あなた、私に恨みでもあるの？当然でしょう。その身がシローに何をしたか、私を忘れることなどない。シローもシローです。イリアスフィールをかくまうなど、百害あって一理なしとわからないのですか。
It's a possibility it could change. It could change. Give her a second chance. Damn it. Let me give her a second
What
chance.
about it?
What do you think?
Ilya doesn't have a servant anymore, so she's not dangerous. So she's no longer a master. Well, I mean, she's still dangerous because she's a mage, but she's not a well, I guess if she still has command skills, she's still a master. Does she still have her command spells?
I don't know. She used her whole body for command spell, remember?
Yeah, but you still get 3 command spells. So that her whole body tattoo still consisted of only 3 spells.
Unless she used them all. Except Berserker died.
No, Berserker died because we took away more lives than he had. He had 5 lives left, and we killed him 7 times over.
One shot.
In one hit with Seba's sacred sword. Oh, it's because I accidentally made it go back to the last thing that was said.
Ah.
I oopsed and hit the wrong thing. Besides, how would you feel if she got attacked after we abandoned her? Ilya's life would be in danger, and the other masters might gain power from her.
それはそうですが、しかし。
Saber hesitates. No matter what she says, Saber understands that another master might attack Ilya if we leave her alone.
じゃあ次はこっちの番ね。セーバーを陥落したところ悪いけど、私はまだ説得されてないわ。
You could always leave.
いいシロ。そいつはまだマスターなのよ。サーバントを失っても、霊樹がある限り、マスターはマスターだって教えたでしょ
And so are you. So your argument stands against yourself as well. At least in my opinion.
Absolutely. Tit for tat.
She says that. Tosaka just butts in while she sips her tea. Hey, what's that supposed to mean, Tosaka?
だから、霊樹さえ残っていれば、サーバントとは何人でも契約できるのよ。主のいないはぐれサーバントがいて、かつマスターにそのはぐれサーバントを許容できるキャパシティさえあれば、何人とだって契約はできるわ。
Pet? So, if there's a capable master around, they can form a contract with as many servants as they want?
何人でもってわけじゃないわ。聖杯の力で呼び出せる英霊は7人が限度だから、最大でも7人ね。
That's not entirely accurate.
Oh.
Let's say one master were to somehow manage to form a contract with all 7 of the heroic spirits summoned to a grail war. The grail would automatically summon 7 more servants to counter them.
Oh, wow.
And it would grant 7 more masters command spells. However, at that point, you'd have the Fate Apocrypha series, which is exactly that.
Where's the dumbass that decided to do that?
His name, the master that did that, I believe, is a mage by the name of Darnik Yigita Millennia.
Interesting.
最もどんなに優れた魔術師だって複数のサーバントを具現化させる魔力なんてないわ。あるとしてもその場合は10の魔力を5に分けて2人のサーバントを刺激することになる。そうなるとサーバントの能力は下がるから
Some tells me
複
Ilya
数
wouldn't
のサ
have
ーバン
that
トと契
problem.
約する旨味はないけどね。
See, so if I formed a contract with Saber and Berserker, they would have to split my magical energy between them to maintain their existence, which would drastically weaken both of them. That means it would make more sense to keep one servant and supply them with magical energy. Now that you mention it, didn't you say servants could change masters? Is this what you meant?
あら、珍しく勘がいいじゃない。
Oh, that's just me.
シローの言う通り、サーバントがマスターを変えるっていうのはそういうことよ。マスターを失ったサーバントは消えるまでいくらか猶予がある。で、その間に他にサーバントを欲しがっているマスターを探して契約すれば元通りってわけ。
だからリンに気を許しちゃダメよ、シロー。そいつだってまだマスターなんだから。シローを殺してセイバーを奪うかもしれないし、まだ生きてるサーバントと再契約するかもしれないわ。
There's the argument you made.
That is exactly the argument Rin was making about Ilya, who specifically said when Berserker disappeared that she would not form a contract with any servant that isn't Berserker. So I don't think we have to worry about her forming any new contracts.
そう。それはあんたにそっくりお返しするわ、イリア。
And you have been saying
ふんだ、
this before.
そんなことないもん。
Shut it.
And there you have it.
私、他のサーバントとなんて組まない。イリアのサーバントはずっとバーサーカーだけなんだから。
I don't know what kind of relationship Ilya and Berserker had, but I do know that that servant was special to her. That is a surprise, but at the same time, it makes me happy. I'm happy to know that despite the fact that as a master, Ilya was relentless, she still cherished her partner.
あ、でもシローが負けちゃったらセイバーは私がもらうわ。私はシロー以外のマスターが勝つのは認めない。
That's somewhat disturbing.
でももしシローが負けちゃったら私が代わりに勝ってあげるんだから。
Ilya says that proudly, just as she was starting to impress Saber and Tosaka.
バカなことは言わないでほしい。私はシローのサーバントです。あなたのサーバントになるつもりはありません。
ふーん。へえ、別にそれでも構わないわ。私はシローに勝ってもらえればそれでいい。私が勝つのもセイバーがシローを守ってくれるのもどうせ最後は同じだもの。
Huh? What a weird thing to say. Actually, if she wants me to win, why would she think like that anyway? And then, Tosaka must have found it strange too. She starts to think.
私は構います。ともかく私は認めません。リン、あなたからもシローに忠告してください。
ごめんなさい、聞いてなかったわ。もう一度言って、セイバー。
ですから、イリアスフィールをここにかくまうのは反対だということです。
Rin's argument just went out the window as soon as, like,
Ilya turned it on her.
as soon as Ilya turned it on her.
Yep.
ああ、それいいんじゃない？別にかくまうぐらいなら。
You're on your own here, Saber.
は？
Saber freezes. I had advocated for this, but even I'm surprised. I don't blame the opposing Saber for being frozen in shock.
リン、あなた、正気ですか？
ええ、冷静に考えてみればリスクはどっちも同じなのよ。
イリアを一人にするのもここでかくまうのも教会に預けるのも変わらない。いえ、むしろイリア目当てでマスターが来てくれた方が助かるわ。今のセーバーなら他のサーバントが束になっても負けっこない。聖杯戦争を終わらせるならその方が手っ取り早いし、それはあなただって望むところでしょ、セイバー。ま、あなたが他のサーバントに負けるって言うんなら話は変わるけど。
Oh, that's a bold statement. That is a bold ass statement, Brad.
まさか今の私がどのような状態かリンなら分かっているでしょう。シローが私のマスターである限り私に敗北などありえません。でしょ。ならイリアをかくまうのも問題ない。それに気になることもある。シローの選択はもしかしたらとんでもない妙手だったのかもしれないわ。
Tosake goes quiet. She must have convinced Saber, who reluctantly takes a step back from Ilya. We finish breakfast, then move to the dojo. Tosake goes back to her own room while Saber follows me. As for Ilya...
ねえ、本当に剣の鍛錬なんかするの？
She follows me to the dojo, like we're joined at the hip.
私、今日はシローと遊べると思って楽しみにしてたんだよ。なのにセイバーなんて邪魔者はいるし、ここ寒いし、つまんないよ。
Well, I'm not surprised Ilya thinks this is boring. Watching someone train isn't what I'd call exciting.
ねえ、今に戻ろう。強くなりたいなら、私がシローの力になってあげる。
Ilya takes one of my hands in both of hers and tries to tug me away from the dojo.
Sweet little sister, ain't she?
She really is. But at least in this, I can't indulge Ilya. No, I can't, Ilya. I train every day, so I can't miss today. I'm not a proper mage, so I need to work hard to be ready to fight. Besides, if I train, I can protect you too, Ilya. I decided to shelter you here, so I should train to help me do just that.
うん、それはそうかも。
Yeah, maybe right.
けど私、シローに守られなくてもいいんだけどな。シローはお兄ちゃんなんだから、一緒にいてくれるだけでいいんだもん。
It seems I failed to convince her. Ilya tugs more aggressively at my hand.
What'd she say?
Sorry, what?
What did Ilya do? You say? After you said I gotta train?
I gotta train so that she said that might be a good idea. But I don't need you to protect me. You're my brother. All I need is to have you with me. And then she started tugging more aggressively. Saber watches silently all the while. Her eyes burn into the pair of us. She must still not approve of Ilya being here, and so is being more than a little cold toward her.
Understandable.
And then our eyes meet. Good timing. I'll ask for Saber's opinion. I said I can't. Tell her, Saber. Tell her I train with you every day.
私に言うべきことなどありません。
Betrayed.
イリアスフィールを連れてきたのはシローです。彼女に言い聞かせるのはシローの役割で、私の責務には含まれていませんから。
She's like, not my problem. Damn it.
In the words of Nelson from Simpson.
I don't know why, but I guess she's really ticked now.
なんだ、セイバーもよくわかってるじゃない。剣の鍛錬なんてしなくていいのよ。残ってるのは雑魚ばっかりなんだから、そんなの必要ないもの。ねえシロ、他のマスターなんてセイバーに任せて、私たちは外で遊ぼう。
Hey, slow down. I lose my balance and feel myself being tugged toward the dojo's exit. Hey, no, let go, Ilya. I'm not going to indulge you this time. I'm not skipping my sword training. I'm going to stick to it. I'm sure you might think it's boring, but I enjoy it. If you're gonna complain, then go wait out in the living room. I shake her off violently. She obviously didn't expect me to fling her away like that. Ilya backs off surprised, then looks at me nervously. Crap. I should have been nicer about it.
Nice boy to let you do that.
Sorry, Ilya, I was too rough with you, but I'm not going to give up my sword training. I'm sorry to leave you alone, but please stay in the living room. Uh-oh.
She's now getting mad. She's gonna throw a freaking 12-year-old temper tantrum on you.
Yeah, but with her abilities as a mage...
She's gonna throw a 12-year-old temper tantrum on you, and it's gonna be a 12-year-old spoiled, rotten little brat temper tantrum.
Ilya sulks away toward the entrance, but stops by the wall.
いいわ。ならここで見てる。それなら文句ないでしょ。
Ilya suddenly roars in defiance. She glares our way, pitching a small tantrum.
Told ya.
Well, I don't mind, but it's cold in the dojo, and there's tea and snacks in the living room for you.
私がいいって言ってるんだからいいの。なんだ、シロとセイバーを二人きりになんてさせないんだから。
She's a little jealous.
What happens in a harem? I mean, I said nothing. Ilya huffs and turns her nose up. Oh well, you're more than welcome to go back to the living room if you get bored. At least things have settled down. I take out two shinai leaning against the wall and turn to face Saber. Then let's...
What are those?
Those are the bamboo practice swords.
Oh, okay. Kendo sticks.
Kendo sticks, yes. They're called shinai.
Ah. Okay.
It's been 3 days, so I might be a little rusty. Hey, are you okay, Saber? You look a little dazed. Do you have a fever?
いえ、別にそういうことではないのですが。
I know what hurts.
Oh, she has a
I
fever,
know.
all right.
I know what's got Saber.
Okay.
I know what's got Saber. She's in love with Shiro.
Well, she's
And she's
trying very hard to not be.
and she's got stage fright.
Saber turns away from Ilya, furiously shaking her head. So, are you all right? Let's begin. Here's your shinai.
いえ、投げていただければ結構です。あまり不用意に近づかれては困ります。私たちは剣の鍛錬をするのですから。
That's what I've been saying. What else would we be doing, Saber? A little confused, I tossed the shinai to her. Besides, I've never once landed a strike on Saber. I've never even gotten close to being within striking range on her, so Saber telling me not to come close seems odd. Saber takes the shinai I toss her a bit awkwardly, then lets out an audible sigh.
それでは始めましょう。今までとは勝手が違いますが、平静を保つようにしろ。
Saber glances at Elia as she speaks. I'll be fine. Once we've started, nothing will bother me. I grip my shinai and focus on Saber. She stands in front of me, shinai in hand. Now my attention is fixed only on her. We spend 2 hours training, then go on break as usual. This just reminds me how amazing you are, Saber. I nod approvingly and gulp some water from the kettle I brought along. I quench my thirst and wipe the sweat from my neck with a towel, which helps me to finally relax.
ねえ、今のが鍛錬なの？なんかシロが一方的にやられてたようにしか見えなかったけど。
Some people might call that training, Ilya. Ilya is so blunt about things most people would find awkward. It's not true, Ilya. I may have looked like I'm just getting beaten up, but it was actually worse before. I didn't pass out even once, so I'd say I did pretty well today. Oh, did they get you again there, Dev?
それってシロの腕前なのかな？
They must have got it. They must have got a goal against Dev's team again. Ilya's expression turns thoughtful. She's sharp. I found it odd too, actually. Either Saber was holding back out of concern for me, or she isn't in top form. Whatever the case, Saber didn't go all out. Well, she may not always fight seriously while we're training, but she's always been merciless about exploiting openings before. Today she lacks the drive, though. Normally, she just rushes in and attacks hard enough to knock me out, but there was none of that today. You think so too, Ilya? Maybe Saber's given up on me.
不思議とそんな感じはしなかったよ。セイバー、ちゃんとシロに追い打ちしようって竹刀を構え直すんだけど、とっさにやめて下がっちゃうのよ。あれ、何だったのかな？見逃してるっていうより、怖がってるっていうか、遠慮してるっていうか。
Huh? Saber would never hold back. If she had the compassion for that, she would never have beat me so bad that first day. Yeah, Saber isn't the sort to hold back in training. That's why I was able to focus so completely on her weapon. What's gotten into Saber? This isn't training at all. It seems unbelievable, but did she go easy on me?
いえ、手を抜いていたなどということはありません。私は普段通り、シロより一段階上の剣士を想定して相手をしていたのですが。
Is it 420?
Where we are, it is.
Huh. Well, happy 420 to all of you out there.
Fellow stoners.
Something's not right. Saber has to see it too. Yeah, I can't imagine you ever taking it easy on me, and I know you were being serious. But I think you were holding back. If you don't come right at me, this is pointless.
正面からですか？ですがそうなるとマスターに近づきすぎです。それでは展開によっては体がぶつかってしまうというか。
And?
No.
And?
Like I said, she's got stage fright.
Huh? Well, we're sparring, so I guess we might bump shoulders or something. Besides, you used to slam your whole body into mine to knock me down because you said I wasn't defending myself well enough. And close combat is your specialty, Saber.
私そんなことをしていたのでしょうか。
That's kind of a weird question. But yeah, frequently. Remember how you just slammed me into the wall when we first sparred? I said you were pretty strong for a girl, and you said it wasn't natural for a it was natural for a swordsman. Saber stands there, dumbfounded. What's going on? Saber is acting really weird today. I'd hate to learn she isn't feeling well. I should talk to Tosaka later. We get back to our training, but it still feels different than before. But after just a few strikes, Saber sets down her shinai. Is this a new kind of training? She might strike me straight in the head the moment I drop my guard and get close. I breathe hard, watching Saber curiously.
Cautiously.
Whatever, curiously, cautiously. Saber narrows her eyes, showing that she's serious now, and steps forward.
シロ、昼食にしましょう。
Boy.
But we just came off a break.
That's not like her. Huh? I lower my shinai. Lunch? Is it that time already? According to the clock, it's a bit afternoon, or a bit before noon. It's lunchtime for sure, but this is the first time Saber's been the one to step up and suggest it. Neither Saber nor I pay much attention to the time when we trained before. We'd take a break, then notice we were hungry. Then we'd check the clock and see that it was about lunchtime. That's a good idea. I go along with it easily enough. All right, chat, Dev, what do we do? Okay, let's have lunch. Fine, but why is she on the dot today? No can do. We'll be fasting today.
I think the first one is good.
That's a vote for lunch.
Food, glorious food.
That's another vote for lunch. Anyone else out there want to chime in? Give a second for chat just in case. Apparently Draconius is hungry. All right, I guess it is lunchtime. That's a good idea. It's a little early, but I guess I can start preparing.
早いのですか？もうじき正午ですし、調理には時間がかかるのですから、ちょうどいいと思うのですが。
True.
I mean, at one point, Saber did think to herself that if Shiro stopped cooking for her, she would no longer have the will to continue the Grail War. Yes. Well, I actually made us boxed lunches today. Everything's done and packed, so we just need to bring the bento from the living room, and we can eat now.
素晴らしい。それならなんとか我慢できそうです。
Saber breathes a sigh of relief. Huh? What do you mean, hold out?
いえ、特に意味はありません。取るに足りない独り言ですので、早速昼食にいたしましょう。
Talking to yourself like we're talking to ourselves. Yep.
Yeah, heroic spirits don't need to eat. She just really, really likes Shiro's cooking. Saber, you've been pretty weird today. You were even sparring weird. If you're not feeling well, you need to tell me. If you're not feeling well, you shouldn't eat the bento. I'll make you something a little easier to digest.
いえ、そのようなことはありません。今から調理しては時間がかかりますし、今すぐ昼食を取らなければならないし、とにかく昼食にしましょう、シロ。
Yeah, we'll eat now. Let's go get your fucking food in your belly. Jesus.
What's gotten into her? You're cooking, dumbass.
Lord Thunder. What the hell?
She doesn't look ill, and she doesn't look like I need to make her anything special. Got it. Then I'll bring over the bento and some tea. So you two just wait here. We don't often have bento for lunch, so let's take the chance to eat here in the dojo.
はい、期待しています、シロ。
Saber waves enthusiastically, sending me off. She's flustered, she's mad. Seriously, what's going on with her today? It's noon and we eat lunch. I made a hearty breakfast, so lunch is boxed leftovers.
これは、なるほど。朝の料理をパンに挟んだのですね。
Saber nods her approval as she eats her sandwich. The way she uses a paper napkin to keep her hands from getting dirty. There's such a grace even in the way she eats bento.
朝も思ったけど、シロはお料理上手よね。
Guess who the harem chef is? I mean... Not at all! What could be your first hint? On the other end of the spectrum, Ilya eagerly crams her sandwich into her mouth. I can't tell if she's just playing around or copying me. Ilya seems to have better manners than Saber, except at the table.
待ちなさい、イリアスフィール。それでは髪が汚れてしまいます。
Aww, that's adorable.
Hey, no, you find an adorable picture.
That is adorable. Ilia must have had butterseed. Corner of her mouth or something. Saber leans in reluctantly, wiping off whatever it is. That is super adorable and wholesome right there.
ありがとう。
I'm glad your team scored, by the way, disembodied
セイ
voice.
バーは私のこと嫌いなんでしょ？
Finally!
今でも警戒はしています。ですが私とて人の心はわかる。あなたには敵意がなく、シローは客人として迎えました。
Hey, Saber finally relented.
ですから私も最低限の礼は尽くしますし、それに
Only the bare minimum of courtesy. Holy crap. What, did they just turn around and...
Answer.
Holy crap, I'm sorry, disembodied voice. That is rough.
それに
その髪は美しい。目の前で汚れてしまうのがいささか心苦しいというものでしょう。
そんなこと言ったってシロは私のものだけど。
And Ilia goes and ruins the moment.
Whatever you say, little one.
まあ少しはセイバーのこと考えてあげてもいいわ。シロを勝たせてあげることはできるけど、私じゃ守ってあげられないものね。
Ilia shrugs and takes another bite of her sandwich.
言われるまでもありません。マスターの盾となるのはサーバントの責務ですから。
Saber responds plainly, enough as they eat. Their conversation hasn't changed much, but at least they sound calmer. As we relax after finishing our meal, Tosaka comes in.
シロいる？
Rin, why do those two have to
こっ
come
ち
in
の
and
準備は
spoil
で
the
きたか
moment?
ら
Damn it.
早めに顔を出してよね。
Her message delivered, Tosaka heads straight back to the outbuilding. Oh right, I forgot. Tosaka was going to teach me magecraft in the afternoon. I never had a proper teacher, so Tosaka's magecraft lectures have been really helpful. She seems to be willing to keep teaching, so I should clean up here quickly and head over to her. Sorry, but I'm gonna head to Tosaka's room. I'm not sure how long it's going to take, but you two should go back to your rooms and rest.
いいよ。私もなんだか眠いし、少しお昼寝する。
Ilia walks out of the dojo, rubbing her sleepy eyes. That's a relief. As long as Ilia goes to sleep, I don't think there's any problem with me going to Tosaka. I believe that's what I just said I was doing. Yeah, I just said that. Tosaka's teaching me the basics of magecraft.
その必要はあるのでしょうか。バーサーカーは倒れましたし、私たちが協力して挑む敵は存在しなくなった。ならば、シローがリンに教わることはなくなったのではないですか。
She might be right. What, are you not watching the game anymore?
It's over.
Wait, what? Is it, what? That seems a little short.
It's all your parents.
Maybe because I was paying more attention to this, but that seemed a little, that seemed to go by pretty quick.
It's all free.
Huh. Tosaka's lessons were originally meant to help me when we were up against Berserker. So with him gone, there's no reason for her to teach me anything else. No, berserker or not, I still want to learn from her. There's still so much I don't know as a mage, and I'd like to fix that as soon as I can.
そうですか。シローがそういうのでしたら、私に止める権利はありません。
Huh? Saber looks sullen as she says this. Aw, poor Saber. Poor Saber.
じゃあレクチャーを始めるけど、その前に聞いておくわ。あんた体で壊れちゃったところとかない？
That's how she began. It's kind of an odd question to ask the moment I arrive. Huh? Broken? Like what?
だから動かない箇所はないかって聞いてるの。あれだけめちゃくちゃしたんだから神経が焼き切れるのは分かってるのよ。まあそんなのはどうでもいいんだけど、体のどこに異常があるのかぐらい知っておかないと授業にならないから。
According to Tosaka, some parts of me should be numb. But since I'm the one living in my body, I can say she's wrong. Nope, everything is working fine. The headache and fever are gone now that I've had a night's sleep. I feel fine.
はあ？そんなわけないでしょ。セイバーの剣を投影したのよ。あんなの腕一本維持してもおかしくない芸当じゃない。
But I told you, I'm fine. Besides, if my body wasn't working, I wouldn't have been able to carry Ilya back to the house. And at that point, the only thing wrong with me was a headache and fever.
嘘よそんなの。シロ、ちょっと腕見せてみなさい。
She tugs on my arm before I can reply, then stares at it. I realize I'm holding my breath. I may have gotten used to her being around, but I'm definitely not used to her being so close.
本当に異常はないみたいね。
Yes, there really is nothing wrong.
Lucky step.
焼き付いた跡かな。あざみたいに黒くなってるところはあるけど、他は完全に修復されてる。いえ、治ったというよりようやく生え変わったってとこかしら。
Osaka mutters quietly to herself as she inspects my arm. Hey! As if it weren't enough to leave me beet red.
ふざけた体ね。これ例の自然治癒による回復じゃないわよ。シローの自然治癒は明らかに外部からの働きかけだけど、こっちはあなた自身の治癒能力だと思う。
Rin lifts up my sleeve, pressing her fingers along my arm. Hey, stop it. That's enough, Tosaka. Go sit back down if you're done.
ん？何よ。こっちはあんたの体を見てあげてるっていうのに。ってはは。
Tosaka leans closer to me.
熱は下がったって言うけど、まだ十分ありそうじゃない？シロ、顔が真っ赤よ。
She's being a twit, okay? She's being just kind of a twit. That's for me to worry about. It's none of your business, so leave me alone.
そうなんだ。関係ないんなら、私がこんなことしても影響はないわけよね。
What? Put your hand on my forehead? I don't have a fever. There's no point to this.
ええ、そうみたいね。今度は耳まで真っ赤だもの。熱っていうより酔っ払ってるみたい。
Oh, great. Now we look like we're drunk.
Uh-oh, you're punch drunk. You're a little punch drunk, lovesick puppy.
There's too many beautiful girls around. She's doing this on purpose. Yes, she is. And she's having fun with it, too. This is deliberate. I know it. Tosaka, you know exactly what you're doing, don't you?
ああ、バレた？シロがあんまりにもベタな反応するからついからかっちゃった。
Anyone who would toy with a man's innocent feelings like that should do their repentance in hell.
ま、冗談はこの程度にしといてあげる。あんまりからかうとミイラ取りがミイラになりかねないしね。
That's a problem. I feel like Tosaka's only teasing me harder now. Tosaka, might I remind you that this is serious and I'm here to learn from you?
あら、失礼ね。私だってそのつもりよ。今のだって教え子の状態を確認しただけだもの。
Really, or you know, truly, honestly.
In a very, sadistic, flirtatious way, yes. Oh yeah, so you're going to get the day's topic then?
そうね。本題といっても私の専門外だからアドバイスぐらいしかできないけど、しないよりはマシだから。正直に言ってしまえばね、私があなたの力になってあげられたのは前回でおしまいなのよ。
There's different levels of magecraft, and projection is like the creme de la creme magecraft. Projection magecraft is so powerful, it is literally one step below true magic. Literally, because magecraft goes off the same principle as alchemy, equivalent exchange. But what Shiro is doing when he does his projection magic is quite literally conjuring shit into existence from nothing. So, it's...
Why is Archer's ability to perform death to another?
こんな短期間の授業で魔術は身につかない。私はただあなたが使ってなかったスイッチを取り付けただけ。それはわかる？
Maybe. I might remember the switch. You mean that jewel? Yeah, ever since I swallowed it, I've been able to turn my magic circuits on and off without creating them from scratch every time.
そう。一朝一夕で教えてあげられたのはそれぐらい。けどそれだって今まで鍛えてきたものを表に出したに過ぎないわ。私はあなたが体で覚えた魔術を後押しすることしかできないし、他の魔術を教える気もない。
Well, obviously she's not going to teach us any new magecraft.
だって才能ないもの、あなた。
Which is ironic considering he's like amazing at projection magic. Yeah, you being so blunt about that is enlightening. But you can at least give me some advice about the magecraft that I can use, right? So tell me what kind of magecraft I used last night. Tosaka doesn't answer. She's glaring at me like I'm her worst enemy. Tosaka, this is supposed to be a lecture, right? I get nervous when you go all quiet like that. She looks away, frowning. It's only been a brief flicker of her expression, though.
無理よ。私、投影魔術なんて使えないもの。自分が知らないものを教えられるわけないじゃない？
I mean, it's fair. Huh? Something you can't do? Wasn't what I used against Berserker pretty basic for a mage? I just imagined a structure and let the magical energy flow into it. It's no different than strengthening magecraft. But flooding your own magical energy into something that's already formed is difficult. It's like adding what you think is red into an existing mixture of paints to draw out the red hue, only to end up with completely different color. By comparison, it's much easier to work with my own paint from the very beginning. I can just draw out whatever I want that way. What do you mean you can't do it? I'm sure you can do that kind of thing. It's much easier than strengthening.
あんたね、今の他の魔術師に言ったら間違いなく殺されるわよ。あんたがやったのは投影で、かつ宝具を完全に複製していた。あそこまでできるフェイカーなんて私は知らない。
Yeah. He perfectly replicated one of Saber's noble phantasms. Just, you know what, I'm gonna use Heroic Spirit's noble phantasm now. Why? Because I feel like it. A chill runs down my spine. It's not my imagination? Tosaki is actually angry.
どうってことないわ。そんなことあんたの蔵を見た時からうすうす感づいてたんだから。今さらエミやシローに殺意を抱いても仕方ない。勘違いしてるようだから言ってあげるとね、あなたがやったのは投影の魔術なの。実在する美術品とか名剣とか、そういったものを自身の魔力でイメージとして再現するっていう半端な魔術よ。大抵は儀式の際に使用する一時しのぎの代用品として使われる。イメージで編んだそれは当然架空のものとして認識されるからすぐに消えてしまうものなんだけどね。
Huh? I get that they're replicas created from a mental image. I saw Saber's sword in my dream and imagined the golden sword based on it. I don't really get it. Magical energy is like clay, right? Reproduction or no, what you make shouldn't disappear once the object takes form, right?
そんなわけないじゃない。魔力ってのは自分の体の中でしか存在できないものでしょ。だから物に魔力を通したり、魔力をスターターにして自然干渉を行うんじゃない。そりゃあ私だって魔力を飴のようにこねて探検ぐらい作れるわ。けどそれで終わり。それは探検の形をした飴に過ぎないし、外に出した魔力は気化していくからすぐに消えてしまう。いい？魔力だけで作り上げたものは長続きしないものだし、あくまで形だけのものよ。まあその形だけのものを外見も性能もオリジナルに近づけるのが投影魔術らしいんだけど。
She's right. Magical energy has no shape. I can feel it while it's flowing through my body, but once it leaves, it thins out and eventually disappears entirely. But then, no matter how many blueprints I make in my mind and form with magical energy, everything will fade because it's all made from magical energy. Now that I think about it, when Kiritsugu was teaching me magecraft, I showed him my half-assed attempt at projection, and he told me to stick to strengthening because what I was doing instead was inefficient. I see, so projection consumes a lot of magical energy, and there's no point in using it because what you make disappears immediately.
そういうこと。例えば銃の魔力を使って剣を投影するでしょ。その場合その剣の力はせいぜい3回4なのよ。人間のイメージなんて穴だらけだから本物通りの複製なんてできないんだもの。対して銃の魔力を使って剣を強化した場合、その剣の力は20にも30にも跳ね上がる。加えてその持続時間は投影の何百倍よ。わかった？投影魔術っていうのは今じゃ儀式の時にしか使われないものなの。
To skewer servants. Didn't it though?
道具が揃えられなかった時の代用品としてすぐに消える複製品を用意するための魔術に過ぎない。シローの父親が強化を教えたのは適切よ。ただでさえ魔術回路が少ないんだから投影なんて無駄な魔術を教えたら一般人と変わらないもの。
I got that. But what was that then? That golden sword I imagined was real for a moment. And it even had the real sword's power. Was it just a freak accident that I projected Saber's sword then? Now that I think about it, the amount of magical energy in the sword was remarkable, replicating something that ends up with a few hundred times the magical energy I myself have does seem pretty weird.
それはきっとシローは剣と相性がいいのよ。魔術師はそれぞれ属性を持ってるでしょ。
Fortunately, Shiro has a connection to swords, which makes his projecting swords a little easier.
あなたはそれが剣なんだと思う。
Obviously. Clearly. Connections, you mean elements like fire or water?
そう。普通は世界を構成する一元素を背負うものなんだけどね。魔術協会でも火はノーマル、風はノーブルって言われてるじゃない。治水火風空でもいいし、木火土金水でもいい。このうちどれか一つを魔術師は持っているんだけど、中にはさらに分化した属性もあるわ。大抵そういう魔術師は中央には入れず、突出した専門家として名を馳せるらしいけど、それで言うならシローは剣よ。多様性はないけど、こと剣に関しては頂点を狙えるってこと。
I see. That's probably true. I've always been fascinated with swords. Now I'm curious about Tosaka's specialty. Knowing her, it's probably fire or wind or something else that would suit someone like her. But I should probably just ask since I'm curious. Hey Tosaka, I'm curious, what's your specialty?
私は五大元素っていう属性だけど。
Does she mean all of them?
ともかく私が言えることなんてそんなものよ。投影は虚栄って言われるぐらい意味のないものだからあまり多用はしないこと。それにね、 セイバーの剣を模造するなんてそんなのは自殺行為よ。あの時はうまくいったからいいものの、本来なら自滅していてもおかしくなかった。あんたも言ってたけど、セイバーの剣の魔力はシローの魔力のキャパシティを超えているのよ。それを複製するってことは、自分の魔術回路の限界を軽くオーバーしてるってわかるでしょ？
Yeah, I know, but it's not so easy to go beyond your own limits, right? I thought I couldn't go any further anyway because I was already at my limit to begin with.
いけるわ。だからこそ魔術師は死と隣り合わせなんじゃない。魔術が形式に沿ったものなら、知識さえあればどんな魔術だって行えるのは道理でしょ。たとえ自分では再現不可能な奇跡だって分かっていても、それにチャレンジすることは誰にでもできる。魔術師なんて動力源に過ぎない。小さなエンジンでもアクセルを踏み続けていれば規定以上のスピードは出る。けどその先にあるのは自滅しかない。それと同じよ。魔術師っていうのはね、自滅さえ覚悟するなら限界なんて簡単に超えられる。魔術回路を焼き切らせて神経をズタズタにして、それでも魔力を回転させていけば奇跡に手は届くわ。あなたの投影はまさにそれよ。戦いの後ずっと体が熱かったのは神経が焼き切れていたからだもの。それが分不相応な魔術の代償よ。手足の1本や2本壊れて当然のことをあなたはしたの。
Tosaka's voice grows a little louder, but at the same time...
だから覚えておきなさい、エミヤ君。自分の限界を超えた魔術は術者を廃人にするわ。セイバーの剣を投影するなんてもう二度とやらないで。
Tosaka is worried about me? Genuinely. After her warning, Tosaka prescribes some medicine I'm not familiar with.
まあ無理するなって言っても無駄だろうしね。気休めだろうけど、もしもの時の痛め止めぐらいは飲んどきなさい。うまくいけばあざで変色した肌も治るかもしれないし。
Tosaka explains this as she prepares some kind of green powdery medicine. I drink it with some tea. Tosaka rummages through her stuff and tries to prescribe some other medicine. Anyway, I feel bad for Tosaka having to go through all her stuff just for me, but I feel like I'm wasting time just sitting here. I should... Alright, chat, Dev, what should we do? Ask about projection in more detail? Silence is golden.
Ask about the projection.
So that's a vote for asking about projection. Dev, what do you think?
Oh, Dev says projection.
All right, well that's a couple votes for projection. That's a vote for, oh, as in Draconis Primal. You'd be a little more specific. Okay, gotcha. So that's 3 for ask about projection. All right, here we go. Yeah, I think I got what projection magecraft is all about, but I want more detail. Especially the part about taking an image and giving it shape. Hey Tosaka, sorry to interrupt you, but...
何よ、 早くしろってんなら蹴っ飛ばすわよ。探し物が見つからなくてイライラしてるのはこっちなんだから。どうしてこうしまったはずのものがなくなってるのよ、この家は。
She complains to herself as she searches. Classic Tosaka. Especially the part where she stumbles in the preparation phase, and even though she executes everything else flawlessly. Come on, forget about it. Can you just tell me more about what we were discussing earlier? That stuff about how projections are replicas created using images.
まあいいわ。話しておくことはあんたのためになるかもしれないし。
She's definitely in a bad mood. She tosses aside the duffel bag she'd been rummaging through and plops down in a chair.
じゃあ手短に説明するわね。投影っていうのは手持ちにないものをその時だけ使うためのものよ。逆に言えばこの世にないもの、とっくに失われたものさえ復元することができる。本物を寸分たがわず想像できれば、あとは魔力で一時的に編み上げられるってこと。この投影したものは魔力の期間に応じて消えていくのを話したわよね。どんなに強い魔力でもイメージで編み上げた物体はだんだんと薄れていく。そんな幻想は世界そのものが許さない。だから投影によって編み上げられたものは一日だって世界にはとどまれない。
What do you mean the world won't allow it?
幻想は幻想だから何でもありなの。それがもし形を得てしまったら、それはもう現実でしょ。けど現実にはそんなものは存在しない。その矛盾を解消するためにね、現実が幻想を潰しにかかるのよ。いい？魔術ってのは元からあるものに手を加えて違うものに切り替える現象を言うの。言うなれば変化、等価交換よ。けど幻想に等価交換も何もない。イメージで作られたものが世界のどこにもない場合、それは絶対の矛盾になる。
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So, I mean, the laws of nature have to step in and be like, nah, that can't stick around.
だからこの時代にありえないセーバーの剣なんて投影したら、世界そのものがその幻想を破壊する。世界とつながって奇跡を起こすのはいいけど、世界にない奇跡を起こすのはご法度だから。通常の魔術っていうのは世界のどこかにある実物を目の前に持ってきて使うことよ。けど投影魔術は人間のイメージを彩色する。いかに魔術といえど、ここにないものを作り上げてはいけない。それは現実を侵食する幻想に他ならないから。生物が自己防衛を最優先するように、世界だって自己防衛を最優先する。世界にとっての命は秩序でしょ。だから秩序を乱す矛盾、現実を侵食する幻想は世界そのものに握りつぶされるのよ。
Tosaka explains it rapidly, all in one breath. I don't understand half of it. I see, so what I did was beyond my limit.
だからそう言ったじゃない。投影はあなたの命を削る魔術だから、セイバーにねだられても使っちゃダメよ。
Tosaka resumes rummaging through her stuff. As I watch her blankly, I'm reminded again that me beating Berserker really was a miracle. And after giving me several medications, Tosaka instructs me to do simple strengthening exercises while I keep an eye on how my body reacts. Apparently, she's checking to see that nothing goes wrong inside me when I use my magical energy. Honestly, Tosaka seems more like a doctor than a teacher today.
よし、問題はないみたいね。この分なら明日はもう来なくていいわ。
Eh? It's a bit of a surprise. I don't have to come tomorrow? That means...
当然じゃない。今の状況で私があなたに教えることなんてないもの。本気で魔術を習いたいんなら、この戦いが終わってからにするべきよ。
It is, actually.
それに、もうアーチャーはいないでしょ。素人の協力関係はもうとっくに終わって
Just
た
a
の。
little bit, right? What? I suddenly realized our alliance was only so we could defeat Berserker. Now that Berserker's gone, and Tosaka doesn't have a servant anymore, our living arrangement should be over. Should have ended yesterday, even. So what are you going to do now, Tosaka? Are you going to go to Kotomine's place? That'd probably be the normal thing to do. Tosaka and Father Kotomine are student and disciple, so it shouldn't be an issue for her to go asking for protection.
なんで？行くわけないじゃない。まだ負けてもいないのに。サーバントがいなくなったから戦えないなんてことはないでしょ。それにやり逃げってのも趣味じゃないしね。一度戦うと決めたからには最後まで事の顛末を確かめるのが責任でしょ。
She says this like it should be the most obvious thing in the world. And she's proud about that. My eyes widen. Well, okay, maybe not. I should have expected this from Tosaka. She's unbelievably stubborn, absolutely selfish, and captivatingly brilliant. Then what are you going to do? Are you going to go out on your own now? There's still servants and masters left.
そうね。だからしばらくはここで情報を集めるわ。
Why is that not surprising?
竜道寺の調査も再開しないといけないし。
You're going to stay here? Are you sure? It'd be a big help if you stayed, but our alliance ended, so...
何言ってるのよ。バザーカーに勝てたのはあーちゃんのおかげでしょ。協力関係は終わったけど、その借りはまだ貸したままよ。返済が終わるまでここを提供するのは当然じゃない。それに責任は最後まで取るって言ったでしょ。ちょっとの間だったけど師弟になったしね。あなたを一人にしたら頼りなくって心配で、聖杯戦争どころじゃなくなるわ。
Oh, right. It feels like a lifetime ago, so I'd nearly forgotten, but I've admired Rin because of exactly those qualities for a long time now. So I'm actually very happy. That's the Tosaka I've always known and liked. Besides, if I ever saw the day a girl as stubborn as her gives up, I wouldn't know what to believe from then on. Yeah, thanks for sticking around, Tosaka. Whatever else I might say, I wouldn't know what to do without you. Saber and I need you, Tosaka.
いいけど、あんたその言い回しはやめなさいってば。バカ正直なのはいいけど、気をつけないと誤解を招くわよ。
Huh? I'm not sure why that upset Tosaka so much. Tosaka, what do you mean I might give people the wrong idea? What wrong idea?
あのね、今のは失言なの。聞くなって態度で表してるんだから、追求するのはルール違反よ。
Tosaka must be aware of my secret, of some secret rule I'm not.
呆れた。これじゃセイバーも大変だわ。まあ、それともあんたたちはそれでちょうどいいのかもね。少しぐらい麻痺してないと、あなたもセイバーもダメなのかもしんないし。
Okay, I still don't get it. But I don't miss what you said. I didn't miss what you said about feeling bad for Saber. What do you mean she has it tough?
だから、あんたのそういうところが大変だって言ってるの。その分じゃセイバーの変化になんて気がついてないんでしょ、エミヤ君は。
Changes in Saber? It's not about her appearance, right? If anything would have changed in Saber. Oh right, she's been acting weird since this morning. No, I just thought she was in a bad mood because Ilya was with us. She just sat there, all stiff and quiet when I asked if there was something wrong. She just got up and left, saying something about having a dream. And I pretty much forgot about it and all the hustle and bustle over Ilya. Yeah, Saber's been a little off since this morning. Like her head is somewhere else.
セイバーが夢を見た？
That's the bit that surprises you? And now she's ignoring me. Hey, don't go quiet on me. The fact that you're that face you're making makes me nervous.
ああ、別にそんな大したことじゃないわ。単にサーバントは夢を見ないってだけだから。
Huh? Servants don't dream?
そうよ。サーバントは夢なんて見ないわ。それでも見たって言うなら、それは夢じゃない。単に誰かの記憶を垣間見ただけの話よ。
Maybe Tosaka's experienced it before. The coldness in her voice runs so counter to her usual cheerfulness. And now it's time to prepare dinner. With so much happening the past few days, I thought the whole cooking rotation had gone out the window, but then...
今日の夕食お願いね。今夜もまた冷えそうだし、イリアもいるし、シチューとかいいんじゃない？
She steps out of her room as she speaks. Well, yeah, I guess stew would be perfect for Ilya. Maybe it's the hat and coat she wears that makes me think that. Whatever the case, I don't have a problem making stew for dinner. I'm no expert at Western dishes like stew, but I don't think I can really mess up something like that. Oh, but before that, it's a little before 6 o'clock. I still have some time before I need to cook. We had training, so I've had my share of sweating today. Seems like now would be a good time to take a bath. Taking a bath before dinner might seem like a hassle, but Tosaka and Saber usually do it right before dinner. So it would be pretty late by the time it was my turn. The hallway's cold. The heaters have the room's nice and warm, but once I'm out in the hallway, I can feel the wintry chill. Fuyuki's winters are typically warm, but the weather's been screwy the past few days. Speaking of cold, It looks like it snowed. I must not have noticed because it only lasted for less than an hour. And it didn't snow a large amount. If there had been much snow on the ground, my yard would be packed with an entire army of snowmen, which really sucks to clean up. But in that sense, I'm glad it didn't snow much. Of course, the snowman army would be the work of a single person. I can't help but smile as I remember when it snowed last year, and her cold, rended hands gripped the lectern. Wow. Huh? I was thinking of taking a shower, but the bathroom is already warm.
Shiro,
Shiro, did you do it again?
Maybe. I hear something moving in water. I strain my eyes to see the bathtub through the haze of steam.
You a naughty boy.
My mind goes blank as the white sheets of steam filling the bathroom. What? My throat closes up. I can't get a word out. My brain stops working. I'm paralyzed. But in the back of my mind, I recall something similar happening. Actually, the exact same thing has already happened. Last time I was dressed and Saber wasn't. Not this time. Saber? The only sound is my loud gulp. Saber just freezes, watching me as I stand there, dumbfounded. She's going to get mad. Here it comes. I'm going to die. Her soft lips begin to tremble. Any second now, she's going to start yelling. Sorry, it's my fault. I was going to use the shower. Well, I didn't think anyone would be using the bathroom at this hour, but yeah, I should have figured it out earlier, but I ramble out a lame excuse as I step backward, trying to head back to the changing room. It's not that I'm gawking at Saber, but for some reason, I feel like making a mad dash for the changing room would just make Saber angrier. The truth of the matter is, I can't take my eyes off of her. I remember the night in the ruins. I recall Saber's warmth, how close it was. Her body was so frail and slender. The heat of our bodies and our heartbeats mingled, overlapped. At that time, I was just desperate to fix the problem. But now it feels so tempting. Anyway, we can talk later. I try to reach behind me for the exit, and then...
申し訳ありません、シロ。その勝手な申し出なのですが、今は席を外してもらえないでしょうか。
Saber averts her gaze, her voice oddly muffled. Eh? Now I really don't know what to think. I'm not sure why Saber isn't mad. Seeing how embarrassed she looks causes blood to pound in my skull. Why? The words came out before I can stop myself. Saber looks down even more apologetically.
ですから、シャワーを使うのはもう少し後にしてください。この場を一人で使うことを今だけは許してほしい。
Saber shrinks in on herself, hiding her body. And then I suddenly remember when I ran into her in the changing room the last time. Saber didn't say anything. Sex does not matter for servants. She said that appearance hadn't mattered to her. Oh, well, you see, hold on, I can't find the right words. My head's spinning. Come on, work, brain. So you're not mad, Saber?
シローが体を洗うのは当然でしょう。私はそこまでマスターの行動を制限しません。
I get it. Saber doesn't care what she looks like or whether she has clothes on or not. That's why it's not weird for me to be here. The bathroom is a place to wash one's body, so my presence isn't strange. It doesn't matter whether Saber's here or not. Knowing that helps, but I have a feeling I'm wrong. So then, I don't think it would be a problem if I used the shower right now, you know.
ですからそれは見られることは問題ではないのです。ただ私の体は凛のように少女のものではありません。ですから。
She blushes even more, tripping over her words.
シローにはあまり見てほしくない。このように筋肉のついた体では殿方には見苦しいでしょう。
She sounds so bashful. I almost faint for just so many reasons. You fool, I would never think. You would never think that. Saber's body is a long, long way from unsightly. She says she's rugged, but that's never bothered me. Sure, she's more muscular than Tosaka, but still, I think Saber is very feminine.
シロー、そういう理由だから一人にしてほしいのですわ。
I don't know how to respond. I only remember nodding slightly and pulling the door closed. And so the day ends. Dinner was chaotic. Ilya got chattier with each meal, and so Tosaka and Tosaka have gotten to this weird point where I'm not sure whether they're fighting or being friendly. Saber has accepted Ilya's presence here, but she hasn't warmed up to her. More than that, Saber gets pretty frowny whenever Ilya gets near me. The past few days have been just plain rough. The normal routine of just a few days ago has dissolved into complete chaos. I step silently out into the yard. It's just about time for the calendar to roll over to the next day. I walk beneath the pale light of the moon, leaving faint puffs of white breath in my wake. Next thing I know, I'm at work on my daily routine. I don't really need to train here since Tosaki is teaching me. But still, I sit on the cold ground, check on things I've been working on for so long. I'm not doing this because I'm worried about my skills. It's more that I find doing it soothing. I've been doing it for years, so just not doing it would feel weird. Trace on. I put even more effort into tonight's training. Tosaka told me not to do it anymore, but I just can't do as she says. If I can master this projection thing, it'd mean I could be a lot more helpful to Saber. And the heat from earlier is still lingering with me. The night at the ruins. The battle in the forest in the morning mist. The golden sword I created. The residual heat still lingers in my hands. And deep down, I find myself hoping I'm able to reignite those flames. Creation philosophy appraisal. It's easy to recreate. At the time, I was so desperate that my mind was a jumble, but now I can retrace the necessary steps and form my incantation. No. From the very beginning, there was only a single thing that could serve as a trigger for me. The pronunciation is the same. But just by changing my perception of how it is said, it will become something entirely mine, my own original spell. Basic structure, hypothesis. I know very well how dangerous this is. Tosaka doesn't need to remind me. I really have no business getting anywhere near projection magecraft. It's completely beyond me. Venturing so brazenly into dangerous waters can lead only to death. End of hypnosis. Now, instant nothingness. I erased the blueprint that was in my head. A shadow falls across the floor. Saber comes in, her frame blotting out the light of the moon.
よかった。ここにいたのですね、シロ。姿が見えないので何かあったのかと。
Huh? No, nothing's happened. I couldn't sleep, so I came here to do some mental exercises. Once I finish, I'll head back to my room, so you don't need to worry.
そうですか。ならいいのですが。
Saber focuses on my forehead. She can probably see that I'm dripping with sweat. It's always like this. Don't worry. Mages have to practice their magecraft. And, well, failure comes with the territory for an amateur like me. I wipe the sweat from my brow with the back of my hand. Oh. I'm surprised. My sweat is cold as ice. I thought it was cold, but I don't remember the shed being quite this cold.
シロ、一日も欠かさずそれを。
Well, yeah, as much as I possibly could. It's a daily routine my old man taught me, so I should at least keep to it. As soon as I finish speaking, I regret my bluff. I regret telling her this is my daily routine. My intent was to boast to Saber. At the end of the day, my training isn't just some chore to me. But it isn't the easiest of tasks either. Saber says nothing. The moon hangs behind her, its light spilling around her frame. The shed, plunged into blush darkness, is illuminated by a few shafts of silvery light that make it past Saber. I recall the first night I met her. Saber, did Tosaka say something to me today? The moment felt like just a dream. It's true servants don't dream. Or is it true servants don't dream? I can't stop myself from asking.
ええ、私たちは夢を見ない。 もともと幽体であるサーバントは眠りません。私は幽体化ができないため眠らざるを得ませんが、それでも夢を見れません。
But this morning you said there's a brief silence. She closes her eyes, then apparently having made up her mind.
私が見たものはあなたの夢です、シロ。マスターとサーバントは精神的にもつながっている。結びつきが強くなれば相手の過去を垣間見ることもあるでしょう。
You dreamed of my past?
はい。あなたの心に踏み入る行為だとは分かっていたのですが、私には拒むことができなかった。それをどうか許してください、シロ。
Don't. I did the same thing. Saber's past? I've seen several scenes from her life before she became a servant. Don't be silly. That's not your fault. You can't help what you dream about. And I have to apologize too. My past is pretty boring. Seeing something that boring probably makes you want to have to sleep.
いえ、夢を見たのは今朝だけです。それも最近のことではありませんから、シロの男性としてのプライベートを侵害するようなことは決してありません。
Saber is dead serious about that warning. But privacy? Well, yeah, sure. I've done my share of dumb things. That's a relief. But you're saying you didn't see any recent memories? Then how far into the past did you see?
大きな火事でした。私が見たものはその光景だけです。
Her voice is quiet. Her gentle gaze tells me what she saw. Oh. That dream. I see. Well, I don't know what to say. Should I say it was unfortunate? It's like going to a movie theater expecting to see a movie you know, but you somehow end up in the wrong theater and end up getting a completely different show.
それでわかりました。いえ、前から思ってはいたのです。あなたにはひどく危ういところがあると。
What do you mean dangerous? Well, yeah, I'm sure the odds are plenty stacked against me from your point of view.
そんな意味ではありません。あなたは、シローは私と似ています。だから、あなたの間違いもわかる。このまま進めばどうなってしまうかも、同じだから分かってしまう。
I don't think I've made any mistakes. Sure, I failed plenty of times, but my goal is to be a champion of justice like my old man. A goal like that can't be a mistake. No way!
だから、それが間違いなのです。シロ、あの事故はあなたのせいでもないし、その責任はあなたが負うべきものでもない。あなたには償うべきものなどないのです。
That's obvious. It was an accident, and I was just a victim. Sure, I may be dealing with survivor's guilt.
以前、リンが言っていました。シローの自己犠牲と献身ぶりは異常だと。それは私も同感です。あ あなたは自らの命を代価として人を助けようとするのではない。あなたは単に初めから自分の命が感情に入っていないのではないですか。
Maybe my pupils have dilated. I'm not sure why, but I can't seem to focus on Saber's face.
あの事故を忘れることはあなたにはできないでしょう。ですが覚えている限りシロは変わらない。それは苦しいのではないですか。
Painful for me? Well, yeah, it's painful. Saber doesn't have to remind me of that. It is obvious. So many people died. It was absolute hell. Something like that causing you pain is only natural. And besides, if I didn't feel that, it might all be meaningless. Yeah, you're right, it's painful to remember. But it's in the past now. There's nothing I can do about it. Saber doesn't answer. Instead, she claws at her arm in frustration.
私は聖杯を手に入れなければならない。けれどそれはシローにも当てはまる。
Saber?
シローには聖杯が必要だ。私があなたに呼び出されたのは必然だったのです、マスター。
I don't know how to respond to that.
先に眠ります。シローもあまり無茶はしないように。
Saber leaves. I fold my arms and think. Do I need the Holy Grail? A vessel that grants wishes to its possessor. A vessel which contains unlimited quantity of magical energy, for which it is said nothing is impossible. Were I to get it, it could easily grant my wish. No, that's wrong. No matter how I look at it, I don't need the Holy Grail. Nope, I definitely don't need it. Because I don't have any wishes that can come true, or hope for anything that's impossible. I wouldn't have a dream if it weren't something I couldn't attain myself. The night grows darker. In the familiar old shed lit only by the moon, I listen to the distant wind. All right, guys. Well, we're going to call the stream there for today. I'd like to thank everyone who came out. It means a lot to me. Appreciate you guys being here. I'd be watching for our next episode of Fate Samurai Remnant and One Piece Odyssey. All right, well, we'll see y'all in the next one. Bye from Meow.
Bye from Dev.
Goodbye, gamers.